Well, old top of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Adrian, me, and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some fucking songs. Rank them songs. Songs gonna and rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog. I heard a snicker, then I saw a finger.
Can't put me in a box.
I try. Hey guys, welcome back to Off Our Stones, where Brooklyn and I took a look at the Rolling Stone Top 500 list and went, and made our own. Cody is here as the voice of the people, where he's going to basically tell us if we have a song that's shit and switch it out, or he can move one song to wherever he wants in that section. He's got one of those left, and he's got 2 vetoes left. This is my co-host, my best friend, Brooklyn Vale. Brooklyn, how you doing today?
We're doing pretty good. The list is getting more and more refined. It's like it's almost like forgetting that songs are coming up on this list. I have a prediction that hearts are going to be broken today. I imagine it's kind of like it's kind of like the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, but we'll see what happens.
Interesting. Hey Cody, what are your thoughts on how this is going to go today?
Stop. Unlike the Red Wedding, this was no surprise. This is no shock to anybody. I've been making this call for 23 episodes, so the bullseye's been out there. Sorry, dollar store Phil Collins. Anyways, on that note, to date, this is my birthday today, so I should get a second veto. But now I've entered the age where I'm at the age where I'm on the internet talking about music instead of doing anything because I'm retired. So that's cool. I've learned that this year, so I'm okay with it though. So glad to enjoy it with you two jackasses. So
first of all, Cody, we have a surprise for you. Happy birthday to you.
I would like to leave the call.
I know. This is like the window in Pokemon, like Professor Oak is like, there's a time and place for everything. I'm not going to waste my voice on somebody that's like, just shut the fuck up and move on.
At least if it was at a Mexican restaurant, I'd at least get like some ice cream or something. You just singing hurts my ears.
You think it's
like a singer on this list?
I have a piece of apple pie in the fridge if you want that.
Not all the way from nope.
We're gonna
see how you make movies. I can just imagine how you make apple pie.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the list. Once again, as I said before, Cody has 2 vetoes left and 1 switcheroo. So
I have 1 veto left.
No, you have 2.
No, because it's already used. It just hasn't been said yet.
All right, number 70 on our list is "All Right" by Kendrick Lamar. Brooklyn, you have this one higher than I do.
All my life I has to fight. Mr. Producer Man, say the next line. Excellent. That is the correct answer. But this was already in the top 50 kind of conversation, so I didn't think that it needed to go too far down. I love the production and the backing vocals, how they kind of take place of the synth. And then today, just kind of listening to it on the drive home, it would really kind of got us the sense of we have it made, and especially in the chorus, and then the second verse as well is what you want, like a house, a car, 40 acres, a mule, a piano, a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy. I'm your dog, motherfucker. You can live at the mall. That was the line that really kind of this is where you get the real kind of heart of the song.
Yeah, this one's just so hard hitting. First of all, the beat is fantastic. Just the instrumentation, just kind of doing that freeform jazz in some places. It just keeps your ear interested, and it keeps you, rolling along with it. And yeah, you brought up one of the lines that I would have brought up. That I don't even say it's it's the hook. Just like the way it builds and like rams you at the end, but it's such a positive message, like confined in all of this like turmoil. It's just such a rich song.
You know what it's the music equivalent of? You know that moment in Hardball when they're like, we're going to the ship? It's that moment in music. It's just them like so excited and celebrating the fact that like they kind of like they made it over the hump. Like this is life-changing money for Kendrick, and it just personifying that into a song.
Take your word for it. I haven't seen Hardball.
Yeah, I was about to say, you think he's seen Hardball?
Cody?
What?
So two things. Bar, don't ever say rammed me or rammed you in ever. I don't like to hear that out of your mouth. Okay, second.
Just wait till
I'm too old. I'm too old now. I'm an old whippersnapper. Like these are young whippersnappers rapping, and I respect it more than I like it. It's a little too loud, a little too in your face. You know? Like, keep it down, sir. Like, I can't deny, like, he's a really good rapper. I just have missed the train, and I don't know where the door is to hop on. So I just let it pass by and wave like I'm an old man of the thing, like, hey, enjoy your journey. I'm not going to be with you. But no, like, I don't think you can argue that Kendrick is currently one of, like, the best rappers out there. Like, he's done incredible work, like, overall his stuff, including like movies that he's touched. So like, hats off to him. I think he's great. I think this song was really good. It's just not my speed, a little too fast for me, you know. But keep it up, Kendrick. You're doing great.
You got Cody's approval. That's hard to get, Kendrick. So let's move on to number 69. Nice. You Keep Me Hanging On by the Supremes.
This is one I'm surprised that I have higher than you, given your general love of the Wall of Sound. But for me, what has it there is because I haven't heard a song in a long time balance the bass, the guitar, and the synth in such a way where you hear them in the loop and it progresses, and each one kind of has their particular spot. You have the bass line, which does a really good job of it extends like the ascent, I guess, of the melody and whatnot. But then it takes like the last half of the section or whatever, like a 4-beat bar, and then cuts that distance in half or whatever, so that you can get to the loop right again. And it has this nice kind of cycle to it, and like just the rhythm of the guitar and whatnot. And then just the delivery of like "Set Me Free," why don't you, babe? It just creates a really, really nice tension. And I just think it hits this like of this era. It's obviously one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this might be the Supremes' best song. It's either this or "You Can't Hurry Love."
I think it's this, or no, the other one. Yeah, "You Can't Hurry Love."
Yeah. I think this is the Funk Brothers on the instrumentation, and it is the instrumentation. I think is what makes the song as good as it is. That guitar line is so interesting. The one that sounds like Morse code right at the beginning. It's just this like the right pitch, and everything's just placed so well in the mix. Wall of Sound, everyone thinks is kind of just everything up into the forefront, but there is still balance to it. And yeah, for me, it's the instrumentation. It's just so good. Not to say that Diana Ross and the Supremes aren't. They're doing a fantastic job as well, but it's just so instrumentally tight that I had to put it as high on the list. Also, there's 3 versions of this song that I know. This is with a bullet, the best version. So, Cody, what do you think about this song?
I just love how songs are interpreted by other people. Like, I don't think you're wrong. It's just stuff that I don't pick up on. Like, you're talking about the guitar. I'm like, there's a guitar in this. Okay, cool. I don't know. I couldn't pick it out, but that's fine. Like, I bet there is, but like that doesn't stand out to me. her voice stands out to me. This is really weird, but I would lose a lot of money if I was betting against people like on this. Like, I would say that Brooklyn had this in like the 2 range, and you had this on like the 77. Like that would have, if we were doing everything on the show, that would have been consistently right where we're at. We're not. Her voice is just absolutely iconic. Like I love this version of the song. It's like one of those things you keep me hanging on. I was like, I know the title. Like that sounds familiar. And as soon as it's like set me free, I'm like, yep, I'm there. A lot of fun. Definitely deserves a spot on the list. I don't know. Like again, we're getting to the point. Like, is this the song? Is this spot right? Because you guys both had in the one top 30s, 40s. So like
less than a 20 spot gap.
Yeah, so at that point, like, is it number 69? Probably not. But like, their voices, appealed to 2 different people and made it on this list. So yeah, I definitely think they deserve the spot.
All right, let's move on to number.
We could think of a better song for 69 though. There should have been a way better. We should have. We should have rigged that a little bit more. I'm just saying.
We probably should have put "Let's Get It On" here, or even "Sexual Healing."
Well, there's another.
"Need You Tonight" by INXS.
Yeah.
Can I use my push forward to put it onto 69 just to make it better?
We can discuss that after the show. Moving on to number 68. Nice. "Try a Little Tenderness" by Otis Redding. It's Otis Redding. Like Otis Redding makes this song for me because you have that great horn line in the opening, but he just carries that with his performance. There is so much soul in Otis Redding's voice that it is just oozing it. But and then you get towards like that last minute and a half where it starts to ramp up a little bit. And then you hear the drums just like pound in. It's just "Try a little tenderness," and he's just like wailing on it. Don't look at me like that. It's not like I don't do this at karaoke. There's no way I can sing these notes. We all know that. But yeah, so like it's just a culmination of so many great elements leading into a bridge that kind of just like punches you in the face out of the middle of nowhere. But it is so welcomed.
Yeah, so whenever I was listening to it today, it reminded me a lot of White Rabbit, the Jefferson Airplane song, and how it kind of builds up the tension. And this one definitely takes a little more time, but the little things that I really enjoy from this one that kind of
shut up, Mr. Producer, man.
Okay,
you've been so good for so long.
Sorry, where was I? Anyways, yeah. So sense in a moment, I can't even talk. I lost my train of focus, or train of thought. But like how the horns, like you were saying it, how the horns kind of bring you in, and then I find Otis even grabs you even more, like whenever he slows down the tempo, and it makes you kind of catch up with him. And it's a slow build, and then I like the keys whenever it gets added in later on. I think it's just a nice kind of touch, and then like it's almost like he's holding back in the song. I think that's why it's great, and it has that nice kind of soul feel to it. I think the rankings, I might even say this is a little bit low for me. 174 seems okay, but yeah, I like the more 97-ish to 68 range. I think is good for it. But yeah, Cody, I know you're a big Otis fan. How do you feel on this stealing transition?
Good.
Not his best song. Hopefully, we will talk about that later.
Maybe.
Just want that on the record. If not, I'll burn this show to the ground.
Maybe.
Disrespectful if it isn't. Okay. Anyways, Otis Redding's got one of those voices. I still don't think he gets enough credit for like.
Oh yeah.
For this time frame and like even his songs where they're at now, like he has like an incredible voice, like, and how he's not like on the same level of like a Stevie Wonder or a like a Liszt. I could do a bunch. But Otis Redding is one of those slam dunk voices. Anytime I hear this, definitely deserves a spot on this. Yeah, probably. But still, the ones that we did get from him are just so insane. And just think of the career that we could have had got more from him. So he definitely deserves representation on this list as much as you possibly can do. Yeah, I'm totally fine with anything Otis in the top 100. I think for voice alone, he deserves a spot. So yeah, great choice. Great choice. The song is so much fun. It is so soulful. Bard did about a C- version of Otis's voice in it. So if you haven't, you did the best you could. You did the best you could. You did the best you could. C-, you did good. It passed the class. But go watch Otis if you want A+. I'm just saying, fantastic.
Watch his performance at like the Stax record.
It's also people that take on his voice like songs are hats off to. Hats off to, because if you can't do it, you'll know real fast.
Sometimes he did covers that I listen to and I go, this might be better than the original.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Cody, check your messages real fast. While we move on to number 67, I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye.
Whoa.
Yes. This is my number 19.
What a difference in opinions.
Because I know exactly what this Canadian fuck is about to say. So let me get this out of the way. I think that there is just so much in this song that's so good. That opening bass line, there's like a slight eeriness to it, which is just, it builds that tension so perfectly. And then you get that just like, and it just like creeps and it creeps until Marvin comes in with the smoothest fucking opening to a song I may have ever heard. Just that simple ooh, just amazing. And then you get the horns at one, like towards the bridge. That it's just, everything is so good. The strings are perfectly placed in the mix. The production's fantastic. Marvin Gaye is just spilling his guts in heartache over this. The lyrics are so tightly written. It is an absolute masterclass of writing, performing, and recording. It is an incredible piece that Creedence Clearwater Revival does not do a better version of. Brooklyn?
So I think so. Actually, no. I'm gonna get this out of the way first. Andrew, you show me really good music as recently as within the last 24 hours. Show me a great song. This is way too high. 19 is too high for this. The versions, the Marvin Gaye versus TCR version, I think is not as wide of a gap as we initially think. But I think each one has its own kind of pros and cons. What I like about this one, I like the kind of trills, like whenever they have the bass line in there, and then you have the keys doing these little kind of floaty stuff to kind of give it that eeriness, that etherealness. I like Marvin Gaye's delivery on the second and third verses and the chorus as well. I think the chorus, he nails that at the park. The thing that I don't like about it are the two main things. One, I think it kind of plateaus. It doesn't have as much of a dynamic kind of range to it that the TCR version does. And the other thing is that I think that John Fogerty nails the entrance of the song. Like, he comes in with a more impactful punch than Marvin does. I think each one has their own merits, but I am still going to lean towards the TCR version.
There's no dynamics? Well, I don't know.
It's not as dynamic as the CCR version. I will stand behind that.
The CCR version is also like 8 minutes.
Yes,
so,
and they do a great job of making those guitar solos work.
Okay, let's just move on to Cody, because this isn't the debate portion of the show.
Try 11 minutes, okay? Try 11 minutes. For the CCR.
Yeah, thank you. Of course it's going to sound like that then.
So I love that we just talked about something, not this one, I think it was the previous one, that when we interpret songs differently and you're like, oh, there's a guitar, blah, blah, blah. This is like, for me, this is like instrument heavy, vocals second. Like everything that leads into it, everything they're playing, like it's a, to quote like the Batman, it's like Gotham City. It's a character. The entire thing is a through line. It's a through plot. I love it. But here's my thing. We made a rule on this a long time ago.
Oh no.
The song here represents, encompasses, covers it all. Like, yes, Marvin Gaye gets the crown, but CCR gets that, right? I did that one jerk move a while ago, but overall, like, this is that. So Brooklyn's going to hate this, or he may not know what I'm talking about, but you will definitely know what I'm talking about. Okay. This is Texas Roadhouse, CCR, and Outback Steakhouse. They're both great on given nights if you just want to go have a steak and enjoy it. CCR, Marvin Gaye. You have both fun. You have great times. You have great bread. You have a little steak. It's not top of the line, but it's good time. It's good time. And you're arguing over steakhouses, and that's wrong.
I just went to Outback like 2 days ago. That it was some of the worst food I've ever had in my life.
You went to the worst Outback because Outback, you stop being elitist. It's fine for the price. It's fine for the price.
So Outback
in this economy, thanks Joey B. Go ahead. What?
So Outback and Texas Roadhouse, where do they rank in comparison to Montana's? Because Montana's is the closest thing that I have to a state.
What the hell's a Montana?
We don't even know what state that is.
We don't know what that is, but it's probably very in line. In line.
I thought you were going to say Texas Roadhouse versus.
So we're arguing.
They're
it's just weird. Does anybody else hear that Brooklyn said the second and third in the bridge, Marvin Gaye does really good? But where else are we fighting? The first? Well, what are you complaining? Like, you said everything in the song except the first bit. Marvin Gaye has one of these. It's not my favorite Marvin Gaye song. Like, I love this song. I think this song is one of those ones that's been overplayed in my head a lot. Like, I've heard this one probably more than most songs in my life. Me too. I always want steak though. Yeah. So, but CCR, I can't tell you it's not good. But if either version's on, I'm not. You think CCR is bad?
No. I said I can't say that.
No, yeah. If they're both on, I'm not. If one or the other is on, I'm not saying, oh, well, can you put Marvin Gaye's on, or oh, can you put CCR? I'm enjoying whichever ride I'm on. Like, that's just you're driving an SUV either way. Like, they're fine. Like, they're pretty much the same. So enjoy your ride.
All right. Speaking of rides,
Montanas. You have a Montana's and you're in Canada. We don't even have a Montana, and we own Montana. That's a wild move.
Yeah. We have a keg, but it's
What do they serve mooses? Like, what do you get them from?
Do you guys think that Montana is Southern cooking?
No. The Montana Steakhouse here is like Midwest barbecue, but like not great.
It's not even the Midwest. Okay, let's move on. To number 66. Jesus Christ. Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. That groove. It's that fucking groove. That groove is phenomenal. That guitar line and that bass lick, they're just absolutely like it's in your bones almost. It's almost like something that's born in you, and you just have to like strut whenever that instrumentation comes on. But the Bee Gees also, like, I don't think that the Bee Gees get enough credit for being as good of singers as they are. They are very good singers, and I don't know if I want to call them harmonies, but like the layering of their voices, like the way that their voices blend together is really, really good. It's catching. It's sonically pleasing. But yeah, it's the instrumentation on this one, and it is just, as I said, it feels like it's always been there.
Yeah, I don't think it's their best song. I think the one I'm thinking of is "Who Needs Your Love," or da, 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 da,
I know what you're talking about. Well, okay, no, we're gonna get it flagged.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. The groove, I like. You Keep Me Hanging On. the bass line in that one, it is kind of like the bus driver for it. It's more in line with the rhythm and the percussion, kind of keeping the momentum of this going. This is one of the rare examples where the bass line is kind of like the emotion of the song, and like that's really kind of what you're dancing to. It kind of controls kind of the highs and lows of it. I think a part of the song that needs to be how deep is your love. That's what I knew. Something is your love. But I think a moment of this that doesn't get talked about enough is the ending, and just the note that he hits at the end of it. It's a great little send off, and it's one of the times like where a fadeaway really kind of works.
Cody, what are your thoughts?
Overrated would be the
Ooh.
first word that comes to mind of this song. I'm pretty sure it's the CPR song.
It is a CPR song.
It is.
Yeah, I went through enough classes where I had to hear that, but it makes me like I don't know how I never went to a disco, but it makes me want to do the disco move. So like it has some fun with it. His voice is crazy though.
Yeah.
Like you know how it's been like a trend this last like probably 5 years or whatever, where they idolize just the voice, like they take away all the things and you just hear the person's voice. This voice is crazy. This voice doesn't make any sense. Like it's so high, and I've heard. This made me go on like a deep dive of the Bee Gees and like heard him like sing like outside of, like a studio and whatever, and he's nuts. Like his voice is insane. Like I think they actually get a bad rap, honestly, and they're a product of their subgenre basically of disco. Like they're the disco band, but like. They have so much to like offer, so it's kind of crazy.
Funny thing is, they kind of started as a rock band, and then like I can't remember who it was like, "Hey, why don't you like try this disco thing?" And
I mean, boom. It's smart, right? You think about it, like it's smart. Where you're like, "Oh, well, shoot, why wouldn't we take this opportunity and like jump into this genre? They'll be here forever." Disco died, and they died. Like, and there wasn't an exit plan. They're like. Yeah, so there wasn't an exit plan, so that kind of sucks. But overall, his voice, the song is so much fun. So, like, yeah, like, I think it's overrated just in the terms of, like, I think if you quizzed anybody and said, give me a Bee Gees song, this is the only song most of them picked up. Like, even you guys were struggling to think of the other one. I would consider you guys the top 10% of music people. Like, if I was calling a phone a friend for a music question, I'm going to one of you two. If you didn't know it, we're in trouble. Like, let's be real.
I would say that I don't think this is the best dance song by the Bee Gees. I would say that You Should Be Dancing.
Oh yeah, You Should Be Dancing.
Like the best like dance song by the Bee Gees. But like
one of the songs that Foo Fighters did on their Hail Satin album of mostly Bee Gees covers.
I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it's all right. It's half covers and then half re-releases of their previous album from like a couple months before. So,
all right, let's move on to our number 65 song. Come Talk to Me by Peter Gabriel.
Oh man.
That's your number one song?
Yeah. Yeah.
This has worked better than I expected. And I feel so bad. But I don't.
Well, at least my number one didn't get vetoed.
Yep.
You talked a bunch of shit, Bar. The Roosters come back to crow.
Yeah, Brooklyn, mind if I just go on for take up your
Yeah, it's your number one.
Absolutely. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. The epicness of this song is absolutely incredible. Just that opening where I don't even know what instrument that is. I think it's guitar, but it's so warped and distorted that I can't even tell. And then the bagpipes come in, and it creates this sonic soundscape that is just unlike any other song I've ever heard before. I think the lyrics on this are just so poetically potent. Just like it creates this incredible vivid imagery that you just see as he's singing it. He sounds amazing on this song, but it's the emotion behind it where it is just a tumultuous relationship, and all you want to do is just talk with them. And even that's hard. And I think that it is just an incredible capturing of that inner turmoil of not even being able to communicate to the person that you had built a relationship on as you watch it crumbling around you. I think it is an absolutely fantastic piece. I think it's incredible. And it is my personal number one song of all time. So, with that, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I have two things I want to say. Number one, I really enjoy this song for kind of how it handles the song itself, because like the instrumentation behind it makes me believe that like Peter Gabriel was like holding on to this for such a long time, and it's kind of like him releasing this emotion of like, oh, like it's like kind of like an inner thought of like, hey, like I want to reconnect with this person, whoever it is. The other thing I want to say, because I think Cody's full of fucking shit whenever he says it, that he's a Phil Collins hack. No, Phil Collins takes this and is influenced from this. We don't get the Tarzan soundtrack without this song or Peter Gabriel, because Peter Gabriel set the line for Genesis, and then Phil Collins kind of just took the torch and then put his own spin on it. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I thought that was the most strongest thing we've said in a long time.
And did it better, so that's fine. He you know what? There are great pitchers in the past. There's great quarterbacks. Great Warren Moon and everything. What Joe Burrow would throw him today. Patrick Mahomes is better than Pat. We'll move on.
I want to challenge you to something. Sure. I dare you to put Strangers Like Me in this spot as the veto. I dare you to put Strangers Like Me by Phil Collins in this spot, replacing Peter Gabriel with Phil Collins, the person who you say is better.
No.
Muck you. You're a coward.
Listen.
We gave him too much power.
The mouse, the mouse has the cheese now, all right? You put in the trap, you talk that shit, you ran your mouth for weeks after weeks, and guess what? I told you when it was coming, I'm going to punch you in the face. PYT, Michael Jackson, is in this spot.
Okay, I can get down to this.
Shut the fuck up, Brooklyn.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, again, there was a few choices, and he may be the other veto that I do throw in because I went through a bunch of choices. Overall, just absolutely an incredible song. I love Michael. He has so many good songs, and I was almost going with like Off the Wall. I was going to pick something from Off the Wall because like I still think that's like Michael's probably one of Michael's best albums that doesn't get talked about near as much because we went in a deep dive on that. But when I knew Pretty Young Thing was not on this, I would be lying to myself if I didn't put Pretty Young Thing, because there's two Michael songs that rank like very, very high for me, and this is one of them. And I think just, again, I say a bunch of shit about Peter Gabriel. I probably would have pulled off my guns a little bit if Barr didn't. Barr said, you go back to all these episodes. Some people will just tune into this episode for the first time and be like, oh my God, Cody's so mean to Barr. Barr said a lot of shit. Barr said a lot of shit about me and Brooklyn's choices and like our thought processes and stuff, and disagreed. And you know what? It cost you your number one. You know what Brooklyn has? Brooklyn disagreed with me. He said, oh, I don't see that one. But didn't go below the belt sometimes like you did, sir. So number one got cost tonight. But at least I replaced it with a really good song. So you can't argue with that.
Yeah, number 64 is London Calling by The Clash. It's my number 11.
Get back.
You gotta say so.
You like Pretty Young Thing. I'll start off. The fact that this, so like on any like mediocre pop artist album, this would be like a number one hit from them on like it would kind of be like a one hit wonder. This is like the number like 3 or 4 track on Thriller that already has mind blowing hits. So the fact that like this is like almost like a gem in the rough for Michael Jackson, I think is really cool. Like gets a ton of radio play, but not enough people kind of talk about it. So I agree with Cody. I love the arranging of the beat in this. Like the da, 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 and then a little break, da, 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 and just how they blend everything in. Mike Tompkins did a really cool, like in the early days of YouTube, he did an acapella version of this, and he does a really good job of breaking down all the intricate parts of that beat, and it just makes you fall in love with it. It's so light and so pretty. It's like cotton candy.
I'd be happier if this song didn't replace my number one.
That's fair though. Like you're allowed to be sad about it, but this is still a good song.
Because no, this is still a good song. That's why I would be happier. Because it is really it's a great song. It like the groove is fantastic. Michael is giving one of his best performances vocally, I think. It's a great song. It's a great song. I would just be happier if it was from something else. All right. Let's move on to number 64, London Calling by The Clash, which is my number 11. So, yay. This is like rock dystopia. And I really like the kind of world that they create with this song. From the instrumentation to like the screaming guitars on the bridge. Just like it's two different guitars, but it's not like they're dueling, it's they're coalescing. But it's still so intense. The dark imagery created in the lyrics, especially the one about the man with the yellowy eyes. It's just such a vivid picture that this song creates with performance, lyrics, instruments, and like everything.
It's too bad that the MLB doesn't have any good like relief pictures from the UK, because I would love this to be like the walkout song for that. Just like the tension and the eeriness behind it of like London Calling, hey, I was there too. Like the phony Beatlemania, like some of and like just the kind of how much fun he's having in the song. And kind of a similar chorus payoff to like Seven Nation Army, like the da da Israeli on I live by the river, and just kind of I like that kind of that send off, and it allows for a couple of different moments to happen in it as well, like the kind of the reverby kind of echoey part of the vocals that kind of like it's like kind of serves as a bridge, but I don't think there really is a bridge to the song. But yeah, this one has grown on me since it was really kind of like on the top 500 list. It was definitely one that was like kind of like an 80s mix of radio plays, but it's like, nope, this is a great song and it needs to be talked about.
Cody, what do you think of London Calling?
Me and Brooklyn had the exact same thought process behind this. Like, this would be an awesome. Like, I think this, like, when they do the London series, like, the bullpen should, like, the closer should enter to this. Like, it is such a cool song. Like, and I saw The Clash, and I looked, and I'm like, yeah, maybe Peter Gabriel is safe. You never know. It just might not be my speed. But as soon as it started, I'm like, I don't know, this is fine. This passes.
So you would have gotten rid of something that's super high up on my list anyway.
Correct. It was. I had to. You guys put me into the 50 spot. Like, I had to do it in the 50 spot. I've kind of been conservative, so I have to eliminate their timeouts. I can't take them with me. So.
Okay, Brandon Staley.
Yeah, you should learn from that. And this is fun. On this episode, we can also announce that the new New York Giants running back is a part of the Philadelphia Eagles, which is really fun. It's happening now. But London Calling, great choice. Great choice.
Why the division rival? Like, you could have went to the AFC, or you could have went to Houston. Houston would have been a great fit for you. But no, you have to see your ass twice a year now.
Would you rather?
Our defense is so fucking bad.
Would you rather him be an Eagle or a Cowboy? Because those were the two options, honestly.
Honestly, I'd rather him be a Cowboy so the Cowboys can finally just win a championship and just shut the fuck up. And just let them listen. We've had our Super Bowl run, so let them have it, and then they can get it over with, and we can stop hearing that it's going to be their year.
You know that we would never hear the end of it. It would just be louder. All right, moving on to number 63. Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. Brooklyn, you have this higher.
So I'm gonna open right out of the gate. I think I have this a little bit too high, only because because I had initially discovered it. I initially discovered it because of the playlist, and then there was a particular cover. I think Josh Turner is the person that I'm referring to. He does it with like 3 or 4 other people, and it's mostly a cappella, and it's very like breathy, like low, mellow kind of energy to it that I think serves the song really well. The problem that I have with it, and it's a thing that's done in music all the time, is adding in an instrument kind of in the middle of the song to kind of give some contrast and give some different elements to it. The example that I use, because it's been on my Spotify a lot lately, it's actually Right Down the Line. How they use the piano in the chorus, and it kind of brings it a breath of fresh air. The instrument that they use for this song in particular, this version, is the guitar, and it's really sharp, and it doesn't fit in. And I think they even try to like mask it at times, because at the beginning of the song, the melody starts with the guitar, then it kind of fades out, goes into a piano, and then it cuts right back in, and it just feels weird. But other than that, it's a very pretty love song. Like, I'm pretty harsh on Elvis Presley in particular, but I just think it's an all-time chorus, and just to be able to end on that, like, just, it's very personal and it's a very intimate song.
For me, this song makes the list on the merit of the songwriting itself, because I have heard a bunch of different people cover it in a bunch of different ways. Of Haley Reinhart, 21 Pilots. I even heard a version in Crazy Rich Asians. And every single one of them is just absolutely beautiful, because the lyrics are just so simple, but so effective. And there's something about the chord structure which is just so comforting and warm. Pet Shop Boys even do a cover of this. Willie Nelson's done a cover of this, and every single version of this song has been great. So just by songwriting merit alone, it had to make it on my list. And I do still think that the Elvis Presley version is a fantastic version. That guitar Brooklyn was talking about, I think that's the part that brings it all together. That's like a steel guitar or a pedal, like.
So you know what it reminds me of? I think it's called "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin, or like it's a song that Sean Kingston samples later on. Yeah. Like that guitar in the middle, like how it's very kind of like whiny and sharp. It reminds me of that.
Okay, it's from Blue Hawaii. All right, so Cody, what are your thoughts on this? I saw you do the Italian fingers and the chef kiss and all that.
It's absolutely incredible. The song is absolutely just insane. Almost, I mean, I don't know how close it got, because guys never make the real decisions on wedding songs, but it was in the short list at least. I think it's just an absolutely beautiful song. Say what you want about Elvis in general, but like this song, there's no question like how powerful it is. His voice does so much in this, and like it's just like, I don't know, like it's quintessential, just like a beautiful love song, like, and he describes it so well, and like how it builds throughout the song. Yeah, it's absolutely a fire song. I've heard a lot of different versions. I really don't. I'm not saying I don't like a lot of the versions. I just love Elvis's version of this song. I think it's the version I want to hear. So, yeah, great song, great choice.
Before we move on, I want to correct myself. Pet Shop Boys did not do this. They did another Elvis song. So don't get on the internet. Number 62 on the list is Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell. Brooklyn, you have this one higher, so you get to go first.
So yeah, I'd probably swap these, like this and Can't Help Falling in Love number wise. Okay. It's like even re-listening to it now, it's just it's great. It's so great that even Homer Simpson uses it as his whole music for a very specific episode of The Simpsons. If you remember Miscellaneous, I think there's one time we even used it for a clip. But anyways, I think but the reason that I love it is the chord progression, how unique it is. And like, it reminds me of like, it's kind of this mix of like country and R&B, because like R&B does a lot of these kind of like big kind of swings and mood changes and whatnot. And I think this does it really well, and it's almost arranged like a musical. Like you hear the strings and whatnot. It's very like not overwhelming, but it just fills the room, and it reminds me a lot of like the Carpenters kind of, and that sort of style.
Yeah.
Like it's grand, but it's also light in the same way. Glenn Campbell's voice in this is just so great. It's very soft and endearing. Yeah, it's really, really good. Like it is. I don't know if I can say it's on the Mount Rushmore of country, but like it's considered for it.
I can see where you would argue that. I'm not sure about that either. However, the lusciousness of this instrumentation is just so pretty. And then Glenn Campbell comes in with his voice and just that open. It's once again one of those openings where it's just, I am a lineman for the county. Just like immediately grabs your attention. Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. The bass is great. It's one where Glenn Campbell doesn't really get to show off his guitar skills that he has. He's an incredible guitarist. Eddie Van Halen idolized him. Plus, he's a member of the motherfucking Wrecking Crew. So yeah, it's just an incredible song. Absolutely gorgeous to listen to. Lyrically, just like beautiful. So well deserving of this spot. Cody, what do you think of Wichita Lineman?
I thought it was. I would put Elvis's higher than this. I just, overall, I heard this and I was like, this is another one that I was like, got the gun out just in case, because I had to shoot something. I've heard this in a movie somewhere. I don't know where I've heard this, but I've heard this like the opening to the song in a movie. I tried to look it up. I can't find it, but maybe this is just like a
Mandela effect.
Maybe, like I thought I've heard it. It's such an interesting song. Like it's kind of just like I guess it's old school country. I guess I can give it that time.
It's hard. It's even hard to call it that though because it doesn't use a lot of the guitar. Like it's like weird kind of transitional.
Yeah, so it's definitely of its time, but it's definitely like a good song. I maybe heard it growing up, but something brought back some memory of some sort. So it definitely hit home. I have definitely enjoyed listening to it. I don't think I've heard it in a really long time. So 62 might be wildly high, personally, but on the list. So at least it's not somebody's number one. So
okay, moving on to the final song on this episode of the show, "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac. I have this one higher,
which is
crazy to me. But it's just something about this simple guitar that creates this wistful, almost loneliness. There's like a sense of isolation created in it. And there's a tenderness in Stevie Nicks' voice that you don't normally get a lot of when it comes to her. But there's such a comfort in like a dark sense to it. That chorus is just arguably one of the best choruses of all time. Just like melodically speaking, it's so beautiful to listen to. I think the main thing is the lyrics. The lyrics are just so smart and so tightly written that it emanates an emotion that I think a lot of people resonate with. So, very, very well deserving spot on the list.
I want to go kind of a deep dive into the guitar because there's a couple things that I really, really enjoy. A song that kind of does a similar thing to kind of an extent, but Stan, Dr. Dre, the bass line, how it kind of goes from one note and it kind of inches up a little bit and goes back and forth. This one kind of does the same thing of like the, and then it just kind of goes, it rocks rocks back and forth on those 3 notes and does a really good job of kind of creating the tension, especially given the subject matter that Fleetwood Mac's really good at, and on breakup songs. But then I think the transition into the chorus works particularly well because you're playing those 3 chords, and then you get this kind of this tension chord to kind of get you into the root of the song. And I think it does a really good job of showing clarity in the song, especially the line of well, I've been afraid of changing because I built my life around you, and kind of that aha moment of it. But the only thing that I'll say is that Stevie Nicks is an incredible vocalist, in particular for capturing the lower range, because she has those great moments and Edge of 17 and The Chain, but this one is just so soft and the kind of the whispery things that Billie Eilish kind of takes from this, and I'm not maybe doesn't do it as well, kind of does it her own way, but I think this is kind of the stepping stones for what would come today.
Cody?
So I'm at this point in my life where this song means way more than it did when I first listened to it, and where it means more than I listened to it 10 years prior. Landslide could be in consideration. If this wasn't the last one, I was going to use my move up for this, because I think Landslide could easily be a top 20 song of all time. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think her voice is outstanding. We joked about this last week after we got off the call, that I was I'm going to use my veto for Dixie Chicks version of Landslide. But the weird point is, they're both so good of Landslide, so they do such a good job with Landslide. If the lyrics are, I think anybody can sing it. Not that I don't want anybody to sing it, but her voice is really good, but the lyrics make the song so much more. And this song will mean more at 33 than it does at 33. It will mean more at 60. It carries so much weight, and it makes you misty eyed just listening about it, because I'm getting older too. It's just yeah, it's a beautiful song. She's just absolutely. I still show, not that Brooklyn, I never heard Fleetwood before, but Brooklyn showing me that album, Rumors, for the very first time is just one of the greatest albums of all time. So if you take anything, Landslide's good, but go just listen to Rumors, because it's arguably one of the best albums ever created.
This actually isn't from Landslide. I hate to burst your bubble. I thought the same thing for a very long time, but it is.
What do you mean it's not from Landslide?
It's not from that album. It's from their self-titled.
Oh, you mean the album?
From Rumors?
Yeah, it's not from Rumors.
Not from Rumors. It's a great song. It should be on Rumors, but it's not. It's not on Rumors.
Wow. Yeah. Why do I think it's on Rumors?
Because the album covers have a very similar style.
Yeah, it's definitely the album cover then, because I don't click on. I just click on it. That makes sense. Okay. Well, fuck you, Fleetwood. You should different album.
All right. Well, with that, fuck you, Fleetwood. That's the end of this episode. But let's quickly go over the list that we have right now. Number 70 is "All Right" by Kendrick Lamar. Number 69, nice, is "You Keep Me Hanging On" by the Supremes. Number 68 is "Try a Little Tenderness" by Otis Redding. Number 67 is "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" by Marvin Gaye. Then the Bee Gees strut in with "Staying Alive." And then "Pretty Young Thing" by Michael Jackson is at number 65. "London Calling" by The Clash comes in at number 64. Then "Can't Help Falling in Love" by Elvis Presley at 63. At number 62, we have "Wichita Lineman" by Glenn Campbell. And number 61, we have "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac. Cody, I just dropped the playlist for the next episode in the chat. Last chance to use that last veto of yours. So, what are your initial thoughts?
Oh, well, okay. Fuck. Okay. There's a song that I just want a different version of, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, this is crazy. This is going to be a lot harder for me to do a veto. I may just have to use the veto on that and pull the different version of it.
Wow.
But there's one I see that I'm not very familiar on. So, there's that guy. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of that guy. Next to the other guy with the same name. So that's interesting. This is gonna be interesting.
Oh no. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, with that being said, thank you all for watching. This has been Off Our Stones. That is Cody Newberry. That's Brooklyn Vale. And I'm Andrew Barr. Keep on rocking.
Drive safely.
Yeah, or not.